Our next speaker is Pennypacker. He's actually the godfather of GHOU. So it was HOU, but now it's Global Hands-on Universe.
Yeah.
The title of his talk, so I always liked the titles of your talks, Carl. Wow, so much is working now. Let us spread the words. Let us convince the education establishment. So that's wonderful title. Yeah, please go ahead, Carl.
Yeah, well, what an honor and a pleasure to be here. I kind of realized that all my talk has kind of been given by all the previous speakers. So apologies to all the previous speakers in the audience, but I think there are a few new things I want to share. But it's just so amazing to see the quality of the education, the science, the people, their commitment, the indigenous people, Isabella, just what a wonderful world this can be. And, what a high level activity that we're doing compared to, what many of our governments are doing. But anyway, so Julie's materials, the meteor networks, et cetera, all these talks before me are so wonderful. And I hope, again, it just is an honor to be here. And Bonnie's talk, I think I've been a cheerleader on that. She's led that work, but the fact that we can actually make it to the level of Ministry of Education and then have the local teachers taking it over is such a wonderful model. And again, just one of my what I think I noticed is that we are one of the best kept secrets in science education, and on top of all the other things all of you face, I'm thinking the more we can push it out, the more we can publicize what we're doing, the better. So and again, I think working at all scales, including national, your group of your after school program, in school program, all these are legitimate, wonderful ways to go forward. So one way I'm working with an international group, including in Chile and England and Greece, is we're putting together the musical Astronomy High, which actually I was modifying the talk in real time. Here's Daniel's quote. I forgot what it means in French, but I think it's relevant. Something about beauty being useful. And
very useful because it's beautiful.
There you go. So again, and the Astronomy High, the dance and the astronomy, we try to make as much, it's a compromise between the exact science and the movements of the dances, but I think it does pretty good, and it's the start of a dialogue in people's minds. What's going on here. So I think again, we hope to go more public with that. Actually, you know what? Let me just escape here for a second. Have to. Okay, send some. Okay, back to screen share. So you can all see my screen now, right? Okay, so I want to talk about, I think, some of the new science opportunities, the educational opportunities, GHOU Astronomy, which is an after-school program, which we've had some success with. Bonnie's been part of that. It kind of builds on the things that Paige described, and some of the past workshops. Again, this meeting is extraordinary. I've been modifying my PowerPoints as we go along, and actually this one, it's kind of, I think it's kind of interesting. This is a former U.S. president. I paraphrased him a little bit. He said, and I use his words: we choose to make GHOU available and effective for all students and teachers in the world in this decade. I hope 1930 will have, or 2030 will have everybody, because this is not easy, a little mistake, but because it is hard, because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills, because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one that we are not willing to postpone. So I'm thinking again, in if the more we can publish and share our feelings, we'll begin this long process of bringing over the education ministries, and and if we want to bring the education and our local teachers and our friends and our after school groups. So the more we make clear that this thing works, which I think it does now. I mean, as my USHOU teachers and friends can say, it's been a long road, getting software, telescopes, activities, teacher training, all that is actually, I think, in hand now, more so than ever. And I think the quality of this meeting shows that. So, and again, we just have to have an absolute clear case that the kids are learning more science and math in general, that they're learning IT skills, and they become interested in science careers. These are the goals of every education ministry on planet Earth. The fact we can do it in one-stop shopping is just it's a gift to them. So again, not that we're better than them, but we can help them. We come in humbly to all educators and say, we have some things that might work in your classroom and your teachers. Oh, and again, from the pandemic has been kind of double-edged sword in some ways. I've tried to teach a number of times, for a month, students over Zoom astronomy, and during the Zoom students, and it was the kids never turned on their cameras, couldn't get a response with them. I mean, it was just terrible, and I don't know how to do it, and I feel bad for the kids, but with what seems to happen with motivated teachers, Zoom really works. Is my sense. That is with the Uganda, for example, the teachers in Uganda, which Bonnie talked about. We've had extraordinary work. Another Zoom-based thing that seems to be working, where we also have a self-motivated audience, is an after-school program called GHOU in astronomy. Now, again, elements of this I think can be used by many people in GHOU, both with the Las Cumbres network and/or the EV scopes. And these EV scopes, we talked about at last meeting, but they become more and more available. I'm not financially connected to Unistellar, the manufacturer, but I love their stuff. And there's this just an amazing coincidence that's a gift to global hands-on universe. The brightness of the stars with exoplanets that TESS is mainly found, seem to be in the the 9th to 12th magnitude brightness, which is right in the gun, which is very, very possible with the EV scopes. This seems like a huge coincidence. I'll show you some data from that later. That is, we can really democratize the use of EV scopes and kids getting data on these exoplanets. I think that could really be a real help for global HOU. And my friend and colleague Richard Piccioni has managed to figure out how EV scopes can be used remotely. That is, a student in Uganda will use Richard's EV scope on his balcony in Sausalito, California. He's figured that out. So I don't know. I just think things are looking so exciting. And it's kind of a source of joy and renewal for me to work with the kids and see the data they're getting. Here's our data, or here's not our data. This is ALMA, arguably one of the best telescopes in the world in Chile, the large millimeter array in the Atacama Desert. But recently they've discovered a whole bunch of these what we call protoplanetary disks. That is, they're stars undergoing formation, but then as the disk collapsed from a sphere, they seem to get these rings around them, and these rings, that's where the planets are going to form. So I think it's about 10 million years. So 10 million years, we're watching planets form around other stars. It's often been thought that planets are essential for star formation anyway, but here the good Chilean astronomers and others have proved this out. So I think this is really exciting. And GWIZ wants to build on this. Here's our team has gotten data from, here, these are from EV scopes actually. Las Cumbres has been our main source of data, but we're starting to use the EV scopes, this graph, whoops, get back there. This graph on the left here, can you see my cursor? My cursor visible?
Yes,
Okay.
Carl, it is.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So this is the raw data from the EV scopes. Fraser Lewis, who probably isn't here, he doubts the viability of this, but boy, look at that. I don't know what that is. Anyway, so here's, you notice the air bars here. It's convincing, but then actually we, in fact, you'll see this later with Javier. We ran a fit to it and smoothed it, get quite a nice chunk of data. And then here's another set from Blair, one of our original GWIZ students. He used the Harvard DIY program to measure this exoplanet. And again, these actually this stretches kids. There's that data, and these are really very significant transits. So what I want to encourage us all to do is try to start measuring exoplanet transits. So here's again, I think good Richard Piccioni is going to loan his EV scope to Hussein.
Yeah,
But little bribe. Hey, can I get extra 5 minutes since I'm trying to bribe you, Hussein? Humor. Oh, and then Javier in Chile is just done extraordinary work. He's part of our GWIZ group. Richard and Reza, Bonnie. We sit with Javier about one hour a week in the GWIZ group. Maybe we'll spend 10, 15 minutes on Javier's data. But here above is his raw data from the good Las Cumbres Observatory. Again, the Las Cumbres Observatory, most of you know about. They've been great. Edward Gomez and Fraser helping through the Falk system. But here's our raw data. And then actually, Javier decided to smooth it. He would do a rolling average of these points. Okay, this is HATS 24. And yeah, boy, sure does look more convincing. We're still trying to figure out if any of these bumps are real. Probably not. That nasty Fraser Lewis says, don't jump to conclusions, Carl, but I'll try to respect that. But anyway, just it is scientifically interesting. I mean, some of these bumps are interesting, and we know that particularly magnetically active stars have big sunspots. Big. They're like a pizza pie, pizza pie with sausage half the size of the pizza pie. So it's conceivable you might be able to generate up some light curve like that with a magnetically active progenitor star. And I love this object. It's Javier's objects, but the transit's about 3.5 hours, which is time scale of kids, and the sucker goes around every 1.3484 hours or days. So this is going about a few solar radii away. It's a Jupiter size object, I think. So it's zipping around every few days, this object. And who ordered that? I mean, that so defies my 20 or 30 years of astronomy education and teaching, and yet this is accessible. It strikes me, particularly things that vary on the time scale of kids, hours or days. Those are so important for a global HOU. So anyway, I'm so excited about this. Again, you've heard Bonnie gave a great talk. Some more may just add to it. Again, as she mentioned, Uganda teachers are taking over the whole system, and Uganda, bless their hearts, they have a system of 27 teacher education, continuing education centers. I mean, why doesn't every GHOU country have 27 teacher education centers around the nation to keep supporting teachers? So I think they're doing something so good there that we can all learn from Uganda. So Again, here's some of our first cadre of teachers. We mentioned Reza from a Middle Eastern country has helped out. Bonnie, of course, you've heard. Madam Grace is one of the leaders of the NCDC. Niraj is one of the teachers. Here's our system. Again, Bonnie talked about that. Oh, you know what? Let me just try this. Let's see. Let me try share again. Shouldn't take long, especially since I'm getting all that extra time from Hussein.
Yeah, you bribed me.
Oh, 2 EV scopes. Richard, did you hear that?
This training has got a big impact on the teachers' readiness to teach astronomy come the beginning of next year, because we have dealt a lot in areas that are directly related to the curriculum of Uganda, the secondary schools physics curriculum. And we have also added a lot of aspects like the programs like the JS9 for editing, programs like Stellarium for observation of the universe. All these have added to the teachers' experience of astronomy and also their self-confidence in teaching astronomy. And when we interact with them, you see their readiness, their zeal to enter the classroom to teach astronomy, which to me is a big thing. Because once they get started on a strong footing, definitely astronomy will have a better route in this country. Absolutely, absolutely. And if
okay, anyway, so this has been such a wonderful, let's see, let me go back, reshare here. Okay, so okay, you can hear me again?
Yes, Carl.
Okay, great. Okay, anyways, Santos is my hero. If only every nation could have a Santos. Well, we need a Hussein for every nation. Genetic engineering, and I think we need a Santos for every nation too. Anyway, he's just been super. But you know, it's it's integrated to the standards. The teachers are so enthusiastic. You know, we looked, our curriculum is the workshops are organized around the standards. Bonnie's given you more details about this, but and the development of the Uganda lead teachers who can then carry it on, I think is going to be super. But I hope we'll have more Uganda teachers talking next year. In fact, some Uganda teachers are already participating in some of the African astronomy workshops. So I don't know if Bonnie showed this, but this is the pre-post. Did you show this, Bonnie?
Yes, she.
No, what I showed was the post of Group A and the pre of Group A and the pre of Group B.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah. This is the money slide. Look, Bonnie did good. She's humble. But see, the green is before, would you feel comfortable doing, and the green is before and the blue is afterwards. And in every category, look at this one. This one almost doubled. Would you feel comfortable explaining to your students the history of the universe? Again, these are all kind of based on the standards. We had tremendous gain through these about teachers' confidence. Again, this isn't totality, but I think it's very, very indicative. And again, I hope we can do this in more nations. And let's see. So again, I hope Global HOU, we're working, we have a small committee, includes Gustavo and Richard and Bonnie and I and Eduardo, and we're trying to develop funding to spread this out. So, and again, I think also spreading the resources we're seeing displayed here, some I hadn't known of, I was aware of Julie, but if we could spread, I'm sure the Uganda teachers would die for Julie's, some of Julie's things. They again, measuring things is really, really important, but getting that kind of contextual background that Julie provides so well is, I think, is just as important. Oh, again, I think you've seen us talk about this. The United States largely has a system called modeling instruction, and there's an association self-formed of 15,000 US teachers. And we're trying to build this into our GHOU astronomy courses. So students, go through kind of a very learner-centered system. And again, we want to make this available to all of us too. Here's an example. I mean, we assess them before and after this astronomy group. There's another program. And the typically after, here's a big point for educators. This is published in a referee journal. The referees gave me grief, but we were able to sustain. But after our after school program, as it made early GWIZ progenitor students, we did a pre-post test on these pre-algebra systems, and kids improved by 40%. There's one 28%, but the gain in students' understanding of pre-algebra. In the US, pre-algebra is ratios, proportions, linear equations. These kids just gained so much more compared to a comparison group. Again, it wasn't a 10,000 student group, but we were pretty careful, and it's shown in 4 groups, these big gains. So I have an assertion also. Measuring images is one of the best ways in the world to learn pre-algebra. You're always, how many pixels is that? Does a pixel correspond to 10 light years? And you have to do the conversion. That's pre-algebra. So in some ways, I think that's a natural way for HOU to show gain. How much time do I have, Hossein?
Well, I already gave you 5 more minutes.
Okay. Hey, Rosa, can I play this, Rosa?
Of
Go
course you
for it,
can.
Earl.
Okay. This is part of from Rosa. Let's see. How do I it's just a small part of her slide. You're not going to show this, right, Rosa?
Not this time, no.
Okay, it's too bad. But this is on the anniversary of Nucleo, one of the powerhouse of GHOU, to my mind, one of the powerhouses. But just a selection. Gee, how do I get the music, Rosa?
Music was in the first slide, so I don't know what you did with it. Did you try it?
Let's see.
There,
Where
you have the music there. Go back one slide. You have the sound on your right.
On my right.
If you didn't format it, it will go away. The music will go away.
Okay, darn it. Hey, maybe we can put this. I wonder. I tested it and it worked earlier. What if we'll play in not shared screen mode? Okay, this is, I apologize, Rosa, but this is a beautiful collections. Maybe I'll just flip through it without music.
Do you want
beautiful.
me to share it?
Oh, do you want to play it, Rosa?
Well, I have it. I have to.
Let me just say, I think I'm all done.
But it's not 2 minutes. I don't know how much time is there.
Give Hassan another 3 telescopes, Hassan. But in conclusion, training teacher works. There's so much goodness in the talks I've seen. So much goodness and things to come. If we can work together, we're actively trying to raise funding to to coordinate us all together. There's no individual, one nation. It's hard for one nation to say, oh, we're going to help everybody work together. So that we're trying to raise money for that right now. I mentioned the little team doing that. So Rosa, why don't you take over? I'll stop sharing.
Okay.
Yeah,
This is
okay, Hassan. I didn't want to do it, so I'm being obliged. Well, this was produced along with other slides, which I won't show you for the 20 years of Nucleo, where Global Hands-on University is a huge.
Slide 104, Rosa.
I will start here. Let me just share my screen. This was a celebration of what we achieved, and Carl Pennypacker is a big guilty person for this. So wait, I have to stop sharing and share again, including this sound. Share sound. Okay.
It's nice when other people can give your talk. Saves on time.
Okay.
Carl, well,
I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care if they call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away. Special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds. See, I don't care if they call us crazy. Run away to a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. However big, however small, let me be part of it all. Share your dreams with me. We may be right, we may be wrong, but I wanna bring you along to the world I see, to the world we close our eyes to see. We close our eyes to see. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. For the world we're gonna make.
Oh,
Wonderful.
brava. Thank you.
Well, this all of you are there, and it's not updated, it's not
Right.
complete, but I try my best to fulfill the dream that we all share.
You're doing it.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. So we still have 2 minutes before the break.
Wow.
Do you have any questions for Carl for his like wonderful talk, inspiring talk?
The Rosa part was best.
Well, it's just a compilation of what everybody is doing.
Okay.
Yeah, Carl, if you go back like say 30 years ago, do you see your dreams come true, or you see more than what you
Oh,
dreamed about?
Far more, far more,
Yeah.
far more than, you know, it's just amazing. And, you know, again, I think just a little bit of glue, you know, the communication revolution is so much on our side, a little bit of glue, a little more sharing. I think we're just going to keep growing and doing better. It still might take 10 years, but hopefully I'll still be breathing by then and working hard. So.
Yeah, you might think to write actually this in a book, or so it's a very nice journey actually that you've made. So it should be documented somehow. It's wonderful. The number of people that your project actually impacted. This is really amazing, Carl. Yeah, really
Thank you.
Appreciate it worldwide.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other comments from the audience? If not, we'll go for a break.